Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
From the beautiful city of Abuja, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to today's edition of Money Radio and Leadership TV. The program you're following now is Transportation Focus, and in the studio with me is AGK, and this is the transportation aficionado. Whenever you are in the studio with AGK, pertaining to transportation in Nigeria, you can rest assured you are in good hands. Yes, AGK, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm your host, Case Hammond. Today we are discussing an interesting topic. And the topic is resumption of Abuja-Kaduna Rail Service. What measures have been put in place? Resumption of the Abuja-Kaduna Rail Service. Measures have been put in place. You'll recall that some 51, 52 days ago, there was a sad event that occurred along the way around 7:30 p.m. along the rail line between Abuja and Kaduna, where 9 persons were killed and an unspecified number of persons were abducted. Up to today, I think only 3 have been released. And, the federal government promised that they will get the rail lines moved, or that rail line back in service as soon as possible. And we say kudos to them. They have announced that come Monday, right? Rail service will resume on the Kaduna rail line. But the question we're asking now is, what measures have been put in place to forestall such an ugly event, the recurrence of such an ugly event? So, educate. You are close to the stakeholders. When we say stakeholders, we're talking about the upper echelon of stakeholders in Nigeria's transportation industry, the transportation sector. And you stand in a good position to educate us on what is going on in the transportation sector, especially railway, and most especially the Abuja Kaduna Expressway. What's the latest?
Basically, I think we should appreciate the fact that they were able to repair the track that was bombed.
Yes.
About 52 days, 51, 52 days ago. And the fact that they recovered some of the coaches, in fact, all the coaches have recovered, the locomotive and everything are fully repaired, and they are ready to be back to service, put back to service. It's a good one. The concern, just like you said, what security measures are put. The concern is something happened, and that was why the thing was stopped at the point. The service was stopped. What happened was terrorists attacked the line. The train fully loaded with about 300 and something passengers, 362. According to government figure.
But there were some figures that said up to 900.
Up to 900, but I don't think that one will be reliable considering the number of coaches on the track. It's easily accessible.
Okay.
But we are working with 362 for now. Heading to Kaduna. Bombed, thoroughly bombed. A very dangerous terrain. The train was about climbing a kind of mountain. The particular spot that was bombed was a kind of hilly side.
Yes.
So when the bomb went off, and it blew, it scattered the coaches, the locomotive, that's the head and everything, the passengers, everybody. It took a lot of time. It took like 1 month before they could recover those coaches from where the bomb blew them to within that vicinity, because it was climbing a hilly side.
And so it's easy to understand that there must have been mini valleys.
Yes.
Okay.
And the crane and the repairs people that came, there were no area to be balanced. You know how these tracks are.
Yes.
It just passes in the middle of the forest. and there was no area to balance. It took them a lot of time to repair and recover these coaches, and now they succeeded in fixing the tracks and everything is ready. What happens to those? So many people were kidnapped. Official records say 9 people were killed. Now we have so many of them in the forest, and you want to resume work. Morally, is it okay?
That's the question.
Economically, or to bring back courage and all these things, it's okay to resume to show the terrorists that despite the attack, we are ready to work. But morally, what happens to these people in the bush? We have a record. You know why we are concerned, why Nigerians are concerned, why the families, why personally I'm concerned is because we have a track record of this kind of events in Nigeria, where the major one that happened and shook the country was 2014 when the Chibok girls were abducted.
Yes.
Up until this moment,
Some
some
of them are still in the
even though the government kept saying, past government went, this government used it to campaign, came in, nothing.
Nothing.
We have the Yari or so schoolboys in Yobe schoolboys. So many of them were killed, nothing. We have cases of abduction like that. And they keep promising that they will bring them back. As soon as, the fear is this, as soon as you resume this service now, this train, Abuja-Kaduna line now, you will forget about
Those people.
that were abducted.
Recently, they released a pregnant woman on compassionate grounds.
Yeah.
But I noticed that that woman had developed the Stockholm syndrome, where she, based on sentiments, she said they have been treating them well, they have been feeding them, giving them medical attention, and she was saying that the federal government should accede to the demands of these people. That is Stockholm syndrome because
Now that's the danger of it.
yes, that's the
You,
danger.
you allow them to abduct unspecified number of persons for 50 something days. There is this possibility that every person in that camp will be loyal to them right now
Of course,
and their cause.
they must have indoctrinated them.
Yes, because from the pictures that have been released and from the videos we are seeing, they are not being treated like other people they abducted. They have been taken care of. They shave their beards. They take care of themselves. Somebody gave birth in the camp there. You saw the baby. One of the people abducted, gave birth to a baby. And they bought clothes for the baby, new clothes. Which means
These guys are in
and
big
they are
business.
bringing doctors in to assist in giving birth. Now, this one came out and said they also took care of us. So something is happening there.
Something is happening.
You pick them, you keep them in the camp, you're taking care of them, you're making a demand. And the Nigerians are not even aware of their demand. They say the government knows what they want, which means there is a discussion going on
With government.
and nothing. My concern is you want to stand by the rule that we don't negotiate with terrorism, but you can't rescue them. Why not negotiate and get this ones? These ones are easy now. At the point, if you drag this thing for a while, they will start killing them. Because these guys who kidnap them, these terrorists, they are using their money to keep them.
Yeah.
By the time they notice that you're not responding, they will change their tactics. It's part of the terrorist way of operating.
Exactly.
They use these tactics, it doesn't work, they have to apply another one. They will start killing them. That will be dangerous. By then we'll be regretting. What happens to the families of those people? I'm very, very afraid that, and I pray that on Monday, we don't have a situation where we have people coming to protest there at the train stations. Because the families have been moving around, doing press statement, going to the media as if protesting in any government function that concerns transport, and now you want to resume. Now that is the part of it. So how have you taken care of these families, and what assurance have you given them, and how are you sure they will allow the service to go smoothly on Monday? That's one part. The other part is how are you prepared for such event not to occur again?
Yes.
Which is a larger one, because you're going to run through the line again. What did you do that you did not do before to secure the line? The then Minister of Transportation, Resumption, was saying that he needed an equipment, about 3 billion naira then, to monitor this thing from the surface, whereby the train is going, you'll be able to monitor from here to Kaduna and see whether if there is any interference, you get a signal. Have you fixed it? The minister has resigned. This political period. That's
Yes.
another danger.
Uh-huh. And the new person may not take it as
We are
seriously
not
as
even having any person. The minister of state is supposed to take over. The minister of state was asking the other day from my friends at the ministry there that what is happening, when are they handing over to me? Why the minister has resigned? The minister of state is still waiting for when they will hand over to her. Who will hand over to you? You're supposed to take the bull by the horse, start working immediately. The memo from the SDF said anywhere where we have a minister of state, automatically you become the head of the agency.
Yeah, but isn't
minister.
there supposed to be some kind of organized transfer of power?
If there is no handover, the memo has already given you the power. Memo from the presidency say if you have a minister of state, becomes the head. If you don't have minister of state, the PAMSEC becomes the head. If you don't have PAMSEC, the most senior person who is acting as PAMSEC becomes the head. It happened in Minister of Nigeria Delta. The minister resigned, the minister of state resigned, the PAMSEC resigned. 3 of them are contesting election in different places. So there's an acting PAMSEC who is the head of the place now. So you don't need to wait for anybody to come and hand over paper, do formality, snap picture. Do you think that some of them that are going are happy that they're going? The president took them by surprise by giving them 1 week to resign. So many of them were not prepared to resign.
Yes.
So you think they are not happy? Now they've gone, they've resigned. They are calling themselves former, and they've sent a memo to the president, copied you at the ministry. Are you waiting for anything? Take action. I expected right now, we are talking about Friday, preparing for Monday. There should be a test run. That's how the former minister was operating, the minister of transport then, Ramage. You have a test run, you will call journalists, you move from Idu to Kaduna, you come back to give people
some assurance
some
that confidence
that this thing
is secure. Yes.
And when you're going, you'll be showing them that this is what we have done, this is what we have done, this is what we have done. By this thing, we can monitor, we can do this. And even the passengers and the customers that will come and everybody will know, okay, this thing is working. But up until this moment, there is nothing like that. As we speak, even we that are closer, we that cover the place and are closer to them, you can't have access to that thing, to that route. You can't just go on your own.
Yes.
It's even a train track. It's not like it's a motorable way
that you can
drive. So you can't even do any special report there except to go by the train, which means we all have to wait till Monday.
So that means the whole thing is like in a vacuum.
Yeah,
nothing.
No, they may be fully prepared, but I'm just feeling that they are not doing it to assure the public that this place is safe. We are ready. We are working towards rescuing your people, the people who are kidnapped, and we are ready. These are the things we have done. They are not doing enough to show this. And I think that's where our problem lies for now.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we want to deliberate on what the government should do, because they have not done, at least they haven't done what we have seen, with the exception of repairing the tracks. So when we come back, we'll discuss what the government should do. Stay tuned, listeners.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on to Money Radio, and this is the transportation segment of the program on Leadership TV. We are discussing the resumption of service on the Abuja-Kaduna Railway line, and we're asking what measures have been put in place to forestall any further dastardly act by terrorists, as we saw 51 days ago. So,
Yeah.
Ejike,
No, the ones we can see, because we believe that we are not seeing enough, or they are not showing us enough yet. The ones we can see is that the NLC, the Nigerian Railway Corporation, said they have agreed with the Nigerian Air Force to be monitoring the train when it's moving. They were actually doing it before. When you are moving from Abuja, the Air Force aircraft will accompany the plane to Kaduna. So, which means
accompanying the train.
yes, they were doing it before when they had a little bit of security issues. They had reports that they were planning an attack, so they used that system. Which means you monitor from air, you do air surveillance on the track. So if there's any signal, anything, the Air Force will get it and alert the people on the ground. So it's part of the new arrangement now. So what it means is that they are starting with two rides for now, morning and afternoon ride.
Yes.
So instead of the normal 5 schedules, they'll just have one, I think around 9:15 or 9:45.
Yes.
The next one will be around 2. So everything, you're starting when the day is broke and everything is clear, not early morning, like 6 a.m. right? Then you're ending, you're reaching Kaduna by 4, reaching Abuja by 4, when everywhere is clear enough. So that even if there's any problem, part of the challenges they had and why the terrorists succeeded in the other one is that it was in the night. Even before you could assess the place that the thing happened, before the security operative could get there to rescue them and all these things, those guys have succeeded in doing a lot of harm.
But Ejike, well, I want to ask you a question. What is assuming a helicopter or a plane is monitoring the movement of the train and making sure that any activity is actually seen, and then the authorities can be alerted. Even at that, what is the reaction time in case of such incident? What is the reaction time from security? Because
Now,
we're talking about a train passing through thick forest. What's the reaction
let's
time?
understand this. When the way the airport jets operate, some of them are fully armed. These are jets they use in fighting terrorists. So before the ground troops can even get to the scene, the airplane, the airport the jets could even start firing from there.
Okay.
So that is one. Two, when you have, remember along this Kaduna road, we have police, army everywhere stationed along the road. So by the time you see something, and the day, that's why I was talking about the timing. When that one happened, Erufai, the governor of Kaduna, said he consistently advised NRC against night train because the response time will be very difficult. Some of the security operatives must have been resting or focusing on the road or anything. So when you have an attack, before you get it out, get the information out, and before they could get to the venue or to the scene, it will be difficult. But when the day is clear enough, you are in Qatari, you are by the road, something is happening by the bush. 10 minutes you should be there. These terrorists that attacked the train, they took like 1 hour plus before any help could come. In fact, from what we gathered, the terrorists they finished firing because the police, the army in the train were firing back too. So it delayed their coming into the train. So it was when the police finished their firing power and help was not coming from outside. And these guys were also firing from the both sides of the road, of the track. So that was when they noticed that, okay, these police people or the army or whatever that was firing from the train had finished their bullets. They now came in and started dealing with the people. So, which means if this thing had happened in the daytime, within that time that those security inside the train were firing back, these guys outside, the security operators outside would have reached the scene of the event. So it's very important. The timing is very important. Now, that is part of the thing. The second aspect of it is that there will be more deployment of security men inside the train
This time.
this time. Then I think they had about 9 or thereabout. Now, and some of them were kids. It's unfortunate. Now we have more deployment, and I'm thinking that they should have more of these guys who will be disguised. You don't necessarily need to wear army uniform or police uniform. You should have more of these security guys, just like DSS operative and co,
Yeah, on
fully
mufti.
loaded with guns and everything, but they are disguised. So that even if the terrorist is within the train planning something, you will not know that you have them around you. At least if you can dedicate up to a coach carries about 88 passengers, and we have like 9, 10 coaches on the train. So if you can dedicate a good coach, 850 of them scattered inside the train. Security is very important. So that's part of the measures we are putting in place. And they also say some of the equipments have been put in place. So then that's what we have not seen. But these are part of the ones that we can say, okay, we can assess by the time they start on Monday. So we are hoping that by that after that Monday trip, we should be able to have a full detail of the whole security apparatus installed on that line, and we should have seen it. I don't want to be relying on press statement. I don't want to say this. We should be able to say this is what we have on ground. And until you take us on that ride or you allow us to assess it on ourselves, we are not going to have those details.
Now let's look at it from the perspective of the travelers. Are they excited about the resumption of this?
That's the challenge. The travelers are not saying anything. In fact, it's even as if I'm sure by on Monday, if you have one coach fully booked, you'll be very lucky because people will not come. I can assure you of that. Remember, before now, people were so afraid of going by road. It happened. People have been traveling by road. They've been kidnapping and they've been succeeding in going. So some people now believe that, okay, even this road that we're so afraid of is even a little bit safe. So people will continue by road until about 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month later, when you are fully assured that, okay, people have been going, and nothing has happened to this train before people will come back to it.
Yeah, and let's look at it. We shouldn't expect that the terrorists will even want to attack now. That this thing is just resuming.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can
You can't
predict them.
predict because you don't know their level of preparedness. Let me just say, okay, you're finished preparing, okay,
Without coming to give us ransom for
and they
this
are in the
ones.
bush there,
They are in the
and they are within there. They will just come back and just attack again. You may even be this. What we are talking is even a dangerous thing, except if they have those equipment mounted already and they are monitoring the track. Because I can assure you that these guys can just summon courage and say, let's go and try our luck.
So, what about the train, the coaches? Have you set your eyes on the coaches? How well prepared? I mean, how well repaired are they?
Because they are fully prepared. They are fully prepared.
You've seen it.
You can't. The issue is that if you saw what these guys did to the train there, the coaches there, you will know that you can't use those coaches like that. There were blood stains all over.
Yes.
The seats were practically torn. There were shootings, there were bullet holes all over the coaches.
But these guys are evil.
So there is no way they were so crazy about it. They came and they pieces the coaches. As if they were so mad with the coaches, apart from killing. Every part of the coach, everywhere, the rug, the seats were fully stained with blood. So there is no way you are going to put back any of those coaches to work without fully repairing everything. So though we may not have seen it physically, because these are secure things for now because of the sensitivity of the issue. But I can assure you that you cannot even put it back on the track without fully repairing it. I'm sure they must have done a lot of work and reprinted it. If not, by entering that train, if you enter that train and you notice the blood stain, psychologically,
it will unsettle you.
You will not be comfortable.
And it's a put off.
Yeah, so I'm sure they must have done a lot of work. I'm sure NRC on their part have tried their best. Let's understand this thing. We need to get where the problem is coming from. It's not NRC. Because like some of the victims' family and some Nigerians are making this case about NRC and it's not that, it's security issue.
Yeah,
and security issues, we should place it where it belongs. The army is the lead in this terrorist issue. They came, they attack and the people. Security operatives should go after them. What the NRC and the ministry can do is to support you with maybe logistics, information, anything. But you don't expect them to carry gun and be chasing after terrorists. And this is federal government. Federal government directs that you should come back to work. You come back to work. You have no option. Just like when they are killing soldiers and they say go. You know they are attacking them in Mobi, for example, or in any way. You say go back to work. You don't have option. You must go back to work. So we should put the blame where the blame is. The problem is with Nigeria and Nigerian security issues, just like we are suffering in almost all parts of the country now. And the federal government should stand up and handle it. Not NRC, not ministry. Federal government duty. They own the security, they own everything, so they should be able to handle it. And there are enough information. About this. They know where they are. The governor of Kaduna State said it. They know where they are. They can attack them. They can renegotiate. So they should handle it. I am hoping that maybe by Sunday or Saturday we'll hear that they've released the people who are abducted. That will help us a lot. And that will give people the courage. And we will have peace on Monday to resume food. If you hear that they've released them, at least everybody will be at peace. Okay, the problem now is that some people died, some people attacked, but at least the people in the custody have been released. So let us manage it. But if you don't release them and you don't do anything, and you want to just start like that, I'm very disturbed about Monday. I will not advise anybody to rush to that place. I will only say stand and watch. I know there will be a lot of deployment of security there, sure. There might not be any problem, but there will be a little bit of protest here and there.
Yeah.
So
And
the best thing is you observe for a while.
the federal government needs to really invest in this, in security, because before now, there are people who actually live in Kaduna and work in Abuja.
Yeah.
And the train service was making.
It was exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting.
You come in the morning, you do your things, you go back in the evening.
And I was privileged, as I told you on this show before, I was privileged to go to. I traveled from Lagos to Abuja-Kaduna on one of these standard gauge trains, and the feeling is almost like an airplane. It's so beautiful. The comfort.
Yeah.
So
something we should.
I think it's something that the federal government needs to invest in, not to allow these terrorists to kill the dream. Yeah. So with that, we want to draw a curtain on today's show. It has been nice having you again. You always keep us on top in terms of information on the transportation sector in this country. Really appreciate you. To our producers, we say thank you also, but we say big thanks to you who follow us loyally on this program. Until next week, when we come back with fresh editions of Money Radio, I've been your host, Case Hammond, and from here in Leadership Studio, we say have a great weekend. God bless you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.